George Orwell's essay, Politics and the English Language, remains a critical and enduring exploration of the relationship between language and politics. Written in 1946, the essay highlights how the misuse of language can both reflect and perpetuate broader social and political decay. Orwell's insights resonate strongly even decades after its publication, offering a blueprint for clear, honest communication. Decline of language and its causes. Orwell begins by diagnosing the state of the English language. He asserts that it is in decline, marked by vagueness, overcomplication, and meaningless phrases. This decay, he argues, is not an inevitable process but rather a reversible one. The causes of this decline are twofold: cultural laziness and political manipulation. Writers often use stale metaphors, pretentious diction, and unnecessary jargon to obscure meaning or avoid engaging with difficult truths. These habits, according to Orwell, undermine effective communication. Orwell challenges the notion that language merely evolves naturally. Instead, he suggests that the decay of language is closely tied to political and economic factors. Those in power often manipulate language deliberately to confuse, mislead, or control the public. This insight sets the stage for his broader critique of political language. Characteristics of bad writing. Orwell identifies several common features of bad writing, which he argues are symptomatic of broader social and political issues. Dying metaphors. Overused and cliched metaphors that have lost their original impact, such as stand shoulder to shoulder, or play into the hands of. These phrases, Orwell claims, are used out of habit rather than to convey fresh ideas. Operators or verbal false limbs. The use of complex constructions to pad sentences unnecessarily, such as serve the purpose of, instead of, to serve. These constructions make writing clunky and obscure. Pretentious diction. The use of fancy or foreign words to sound intellectual or authoritative, often at the expense of clarity. Examples include Latin-derived terms like phenomenon or utilize, instead of simpler words like thing or use. Meaningless words. Words that lack precise meaning or are used in an abstract manner to disguise the writer's true intent. Orwell gives examples from political and artistic discourse where terms like freedom or democracy are used vaguely or dishonestly. These elements, Orwell argues, reflect not only laziness but also a deliberate effort to obscure reality and manipulate readers or listeners. Political language as a tool of deception. The crux of Orwell's essay is his critique of political language. He argues that politicians, bureaucrats, and propagandists deliberately use vague, convoluted language to mislead and manipulate. Political language, he writes, is designed to make lies sound truthful and murder respectable, and to give an appearance of solidity to pure wind. Orwell examines how euphemisms are employed to soften or hide harsh realities. For example, phrases like pacification might be used to describe violent repression, while elimination of undesirable elements serves as a euphemism for mass murder. This manipulation, Orwell argues, desensitizes people to the truth and enables oppressive systems to persist. The consequences of language decay. The decline of language, Orwell posits, has dire consequences for society. When language is used to obscure rather than clarify, it erodes critical thinking and democratic participation. People become passive consumers of information, unable to discern truth from falsehood or challenge authority effectively. Orwell also suggests that the relationship between language and thought is reciprocal. Just as sloppy language reflects muddled thinking, it also perpetuates it. If we allow language to deteriorate, we risk losing the ability to think and communicate clearly. This loss, he warns, has profound implications for personal freedom and collective well-being. Orwell's prescriptions for clear writing. To combat the decay of language, Orwell offers practical guidelines for clear and effective writing. These rules are: never use a metaphor, simile, or other figure of speech that you are used to seeing in print. Never use a long word where a short one will do. If it is possible to cut a word out, always cut it out. Never use the passive voice where you can use the active. Never use a foreign phrase, a scientific word, or a jargon word if you can think of an everyday English equivalent. Break any of these rules sooner than say anything outright barbarous. These principles aim to strip away pretension, verbosity, and ambiguity, leaving behind language that is precise, clear, and honest. The broader implications. Orwell's essay extends beyond a critique of writing to a broader commentary on power and responsibility. He emphasizes that clarity in language is not merely an aesthetic concern but a moral one. By insisting on clear and honest communication, we can resist manipulation and hold those in power accountable. Moreover, Orwell's insights underscore the role of individuals in shaping the cultural and political landscape. While the decay of language might seem like a systemic problem, Orwell argues that change begins with personal responsibility. Each writer and speaker has the power to choose words carefully, resist clichés, and reject obfuscation. Relevance today. Politics and the English language remains profoundly relevant in contemporary society. In an era marked by political polarization, fake news, and social media echo chambers, Orwell's warnings about the dangers of manipulated language are more urgent than ever. The essay serves as a reminder that the way we use language shapes our understanding of the world and our ability to engage with it critically. Conclusion. For educators, writers, and communicators, Orwell's essay offers invaluable lessons on the importance of clarity and integrity in language. For citizens, it provides tools to recognize and resist manipulation. In both cases, it underscores the enduring power of words to shape thought, action, and society. George Orwell's call for clear, honest communication remains a powerful antidote to the obfuscations of modern politics, reminding us that the fight for truth begins with the words we choose to use.